Hey, Shalom, Most High in Christ bless. Welcome to another edition of Question and Answers with Future World of Israel. My name is Brother Nathaniel, and today's topic is the Sabbath day. All right, how to execute it, how to perform it, how to keep it. All right, the Sabbath day. So make sure you have your Bibles, your pens, and notepads to take notes. A lot of times our people, they still believe that the Sabbath day is on so-called Sunday, but not knowing that that is a false day to observe the holy day, the Sabbath day. All right, that's not the Sabbath day, Sunday. The Sabbath day starts Friday at dark to Saturday at dark. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to get into the scriptures so we could gain the understanding, all right, how to perform and keep the Lord's Sabbath day. So first thing first, we're going to start off in Psalms chapter 111 and verse 10. Psalms chapter 111 and verse 10 says, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they that do his commandments. His praise endureth forever." All right. So they that have a good understanding, all right, keeps the Most High's commandments. Why? Because that wisdom kicks in. When you have that good understanding, you have wisdom. You fear the Lord because you understand that if you don't keep the Most High's commandments, Most High can still put you to death. Most High can still be able to judge you. All right. So that's why it says a good understanding have all those that keep his commandments because they fear the Most High. They utilizing that wisdom. All right. So now let's get into it. Let's go to Leviticus chapter 23. And we're going to start at verse 1. Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 1, it says, "And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them concerning the feasts of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, even these are my feasts." All right, so God, the Most High God, have instructed Moses of what he needs to tell the children of Israel concerning his feasts. When you read Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, it's going into the Lord's feast days. Let's read verse 3. 6 days shall work be done, but the seventh day is the Sabbath of rest and holy convocation. You shall do no work therein. It is the Sabbath of the Lord in all your dwellings. So one of the stipulations or the statutes within, all right, keeping the Sabbath day, the law of keeping the Sabbath day holy is shall do no work. All right, it's a holy convocation. It's a feast day. When it says a holy convocation, mean a holy gathering, all right, with who? The children of Israel, to be able to feast with the Lord, feast upon the Lord, meaning learning the scriptures, reading the scriptures, have your food and so forth and so forth, which we're going to get into the laws and the statutes, all right, about food dealing with the Sabbath day. So be patient on that. We're going to get to it. However, this is a feast day, all right, for the Lord. So now we're going to go to Exodus chapter 20 and verse 8. All right. Exodus chapter 20 and verse 8. And it says, "Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy." So remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. All right. So on the Sabbath day, there's no work. No work is supposed to be done. So you're not supposed to be working yourself. All right. Going to your 9-to-5 job or, your 10-hour, 14-hour job, whatever you may have. All right. Going out there buying and selling. You're not supposed to do that. Even down to having your children to do any work. You instruct your children to wake up Saturday morning, all right, to, clean up their room. No, all of that's supposed to have been done within those 6 days, which is from Sunday until Friday at night. All right, those are the 6 days that you can do all your work. But the seventh day, once it becomes Friday at night to Saturday at night, all right, that Friday at night, that starts your seventh day. So now we're going to get some understanding with that. But first thing first, let's go to Nehemiah chapter 13. Let's go there first. Nehemiah chapter 13, and we're going to start at verse 30. So Nehemiah chapter 13, and we're going to start at verse 30, I'm sorry. Nehemiah chapter 13, and we're going to start at verse 15. Nehemiah chapter 13, we're going to start at verse 15. In those days saw I in Judah some treading wine presses on the Sabbath, and bringing in sheaves and lading asses, as also wine grapes and figs, and all manner of burdens, which they brought into Jerusalem on the Sabbath day. And I testified against them in the day wherein they sold victuals. So now, what this is talking about is Nehemiah, after they came out of captivity, all right, underneath the Assyrian captivity, they went back to rebuild and dedicate Jerusalem, build up the temple. Now, at this time, he saw many of the Israelites, particularly at this time was just saying Jews. That's another topic. But however, he saw the Israelites, all right, treading wine presses, meaning what? Working in the field, gathering stuff. And as they was doing this, they also was selling victuals, all right, which is meat, food. They were selling this stuff, all right, which was not supposed to be done on the Sabbath day. So now, we're going to read verse 16. There dwelt men of Tyre also therein, which bought fish and all manner of ware, and sold on the Sabbath unto the children of Judah and in Jerusalem. So now you had the men of the other nation, Tyre. Put it into today. What is the biggest days for all sales? All right, here in America. Is it not Saturday? You have what? Macy's one-day sale. All right, you have a lot of different sales that happens on the Sabbath day on Saturday. So now you got to start thinking, you got to start being spiritual about this. Why is it that all the sales is on Saturday? All right, because why? Saturday is supposed to be the Sabbath day, okay? And you see a lot of other manner of wickedness. You know, clubs is open Friday night, all right, Saturday night. And what do you tend to see on those when those nightfall? You know, in those spotlights of clubs and different things. You see fights, murders, you know, a lot of different lewd acts. Just keep it there. So now, we're going to read verse 17. Then I contended with the nobles of Judah and said unto them, what evil thing is this that you do and profane the Sabbath day? Did not your fathers thus, and did not our God bring all this evil upon us and upon the city? Yet you bring more wrath upon Israel by profaning the Sabbath. So he says you're doing all this stuff by what? Profaning the Sabbath. Hold this. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 58. And we're going to read verse 13. Isaiah chapter 58. And we're going to read verse 13. And it says, if thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Sabbath a delight, the holy of the Lord honorable, and shalt honor him, not doing thine own ways, nor finding thine own pleasures, nor speaking thine own words. All right. So if you turn your foot from keeping the Sabbath day and you find in your own ways, your own pleasures, all right, and you don't find it as a delight unto the Lord or a delight in the Sabbath, what does that mean? It means that you're breaking every law that pertains on the Sabbath day, which right here, point in case, we're reading about buying and selling and working on the Sabbath day. So let's go back to Nehemiah chapter 13, and we're going to read verse 19. And it says, we're going to start 18 again. Did not your fathers thus, and did not our God bring all this evil upon us and upon this city? Yet you bring more wrath upon Israel by profaning the Sabbath. And it came to pass that when the gates of Jerusalem began to be dark before the Sabbath, I commanded that the gates should be shut, and charged that they should not be opened till after the Sabbath. And some of my servants set I at the gates, that there should no burden be brought in on the Sabbath day. So now it says when it began to begin dark. All right, when it began to become dark. All right, so he shut the gates. So that should be an indication. Our days always starts when it becomes nightfall, when it becomes dark. Real quick, let's go to Titus chapter 2 and verse 12. Let's go there. The book of Titus chapter 2 and verse 12. And it reads, teaching us that denying ungodliness and worldly lusts, we should live soberly, righteously, and godly in this present world. So denying ungodliness and worldly lust. The worldly lust is you want to profane the Sabbath day by what? Buying, selling, and working. All right. And it says we should live soberly, meaning clear-minded, righteously by what? Keeping the commandments, and godly in this present world. So in this present world, look at your calendars. You have, what is the first day of the week? Is it not Sunday? What is the last day of the week? Is it not Saturday? Take yourself back to when you was in grade school, how they taught you and how you was taught how to count your days of the week. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Saturday is ending your week. That's why they call it the weekend. Friday is the beginning of that weekend, and Sunday is the beginning of a new week. Same thing like if you work in your 9 to 5. Your pay period always begins and starts on what? On a Sunday. All right? So now, living righteously and soberly in this present world, we know that Friday is the 6th day, all right? And Saturday is the 7th day. Okay, even in Spanish, Sabado, Sabbath, Saturday, rest. So now, let's go to just more on that, because let's go back to Nehemiah chapter 13, and we're just going to read verse 19 again. And it says, and it came to pass that when the gates of Jerusalem began to be dark before the Sabbath. So keep that in mind right there, dark, and what we just read in Titus chapter 2. Let's go now to Genesis chapter 1 and verse 14, just to understand that our days always begin at the evening or dark. So Genesis chapter 1 and verse 14, and it says, and God said, let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years. And let them be for the lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth. And it was so. So this right here is talking about he's creating the sun, moon, and the stars. All right, this is on the 4th day. The 4th day of creation. Verse 16. And God made 2 great lights, the greater light to rule the day, so that's the sun, and the lesser light to rule the night, that's the moon. And he made the stars also, and God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from darkness. And God saw that it was good. And the evening and the morning were the 4th day. And the evening and the morning were the 4th day. So the evening, when I came in, that began the 4th to the morning. That was the 4th. Now, let's just jump down to verse, stay in Genesis chapter 1, and we're just going to jump down to verse 23. And the evening and the morning was the 5th day. So when we read in about the 4th day, and the evening and the morning was the 4th day, once evening came, now that is what? That is the 5th. We're going to read Exodus chapter 16 and verse 23. And he said unto them, this is that which the Lord hath said. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto the Lord. Bake that which you would bake today, and seethe that which you will seethe, and that which remaineth over lay up for you to be kept until the morning. So now, this right here is dealing with cooking on the Sabbath day. On the Sabbath day, you're not supposed to kindle any fire. You're not supposed to cook, all right, on the Sabbath day. But what he says, bake that which you can bake today, and seethe means to boil, and boil that which you can boil today. Because on the Sabbath day, you cannot do this act. So what does that mean? If you, on the Sabbath day, what you can be able to eat. things that is cold. Could be, sandwiches. All right, you boiled your pasta. All right, your macaroni pasta the day before. All right, before Friday at dark came, and then you had pasta salad, you had macaroni salad, you had potato salad. All right, if you have baked any type of cakes or anything that you can have eating cold and it's desirable. All right, you can eat that cold on the Sabbath day. So bake that which you bake today and sieve what you sieve. All right, verse 24. And they laid it up till the morning, as Moses bade, and it did not stink, neither was there any worms therein, because the Lord had put down manna, and so that they can have, the angels' food bread. All right, and also they had different type of food that they was going to be able to cook. Moses instructed them, this is the things that you can do before the Sabbath, because once the Sabbath come, you can't gather any more of this bread, nor you can be able to cook. Verse 26, 6 days ye shall gather it, but on the Sabbath, which is the Sabbath, in it there shall be none. Okay, so in it there shall be none. So now, let's stay in Exodus. Let's go to chapter 35, and we're going to read verse 1. Exodus chapter 35, and we're going to read verse 1, and it reads, And Moses gathered all the congregation of the children of Israel together, and said unto them, These are the words which the Lord hath commanded that ye shall do them. 6 days shall work be done, but on the Sabbath day, on the seventh day, there shall be to you an holy day, a Sabbath of rest to the Lord. Whosoever doeth work therein shall be put to death. So whoever does work, so this was the law during that time. Whosoever doeth work in the Sabbath day shall be put to death. It was a serious thing. Verse 3, ye shall kindle no fire throughout your habitation upon the Sabbath day. So when it's talking about kindle no fire, it goes right back to we read in Exodus, the 16th chapter, pertaining to what? Cooking. So that means right now we in modern times, in this present time, we have electrical stove, gas stove, we have microwaves, all right? Things like that, you got to abstain from. Even if you have a water dispenser inside your home and you have the hot and cold water dispenser, don't touch that hot dispenser and trying to circumvent your way around the law by, well, it's just water, let me do that. No, because that's being heated up and you're utilizing that in the purpose of what? Cooking. Now, hot water as far as showering, hot water as far as, anything else that's not pertaining to cooking, that's okay if it's not pertaining to cooking. But if you're doing it to utilize to cooking, then guess what? You are now breaking the commandments. You're now being presumptuous, which is what? Self-willed. With that being said, let's go to Numbers chapter 15. The book of Numbers, chapter 15, and we're going to start at verse 30. Numbers chapter 15 and verse 30. But the soul that doeth aught presumptuously, so the word presumptuously means self-willed, all right, whether he be born in the land or a stranger, the same reproacheth the Lord. So the same reproacheth meaning sin against the Lord. All right. And that soul shall be cut off from among his people. Because why? Willfully breaking the commandments. So now, verse 31, because he have despised the word of the Lord, meaning hate the word of the Lord, and have broken his commandment, that soul shall utterly be cut off. His iniquity shall be upon him. And while the children of Israel were in the wilderness, they found a man that gathered sticks upon the Sabbath day. And they that found him gathered sticks, brought him unto Moses and Aaron, and unto all the congregation. So this man, they found him gathering sticks. He was doing something presumptuously, self-willed. All right, let's keep reading. And the Lord said unto Moses, the man shall surely be put to death. All the congregation shall stone him with stones without the camp. So now the Lord already knew the intent. He knows the heart. The book of Jeremiah chapter 17 verse 9, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? I, the Lord, search the heart. I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruits of his doings. So the Most High already knew what was in this guy's heart. So now, let's go to Exodus, back to Exodus, and we're going to read chapter 31 and verse 13. Exodus chapter 31 and verse 13, and it reads, Speak thou also unto the children of Israel, saying, Verily my Sabbaths ye shall keep, for it is a sign between me and you throughout your generations. So the Sabbath is a sign between the children of Israel and the Most High God throughout our generations. Meaning what? We have children. That's a generation upon generation. That's a sign. It's a covenant between us and God. So now, that you may know that I am the Lord that doth sanctify you. Verse 14, you shall keep the Sabbath therefore, for it is holy unto you. Everyone that defileth it surely shall be put to death. For whosoever doeth any work therein, that soul shall be cut off from among his people. 6 days may work be done, but in the seventh is the Sabbath of rest, holy to the Lord. Whosoever doeth any work in the Sabbath day, he shall surely be put to death. Wherefore the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath, to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations, for a perpetual covenant, meaning a covenant forever. All right. It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. For in 6 days for the 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day he rested and was refreshed. So the Lord created the earth in 6 days, and on the seventh day he rested. Genesis chapter 1, and we're going to read verse 31. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was good. And the evening and the morning was the sixth day. All right, we're going to go to Genesis chapter 2 and verse 1. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them. And on the seventh day, God ended his work, which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work, which he had made. So that's how the Most High God instituted the seventh day as the Sabbath day. All right. So now we're going to go to Matthew chapter 5 and verse 17. Actually, before that, let's go to Ezekiel chapter 20 and verse 12. Ezekiel chapter 20 and verse 12. And it reads, Ezekiel chapter 20 and verse 12. Moreover, also I gave them my Sabbaths to be a sign between me and them, that they might know that I am the Lord that sanctified them. All right. But the house of Israel rebelled against me in the wilderness. They walked not in my statutes, and they despise my judgments, which if a man do, he shall even live in them. And my Sabbaths they greatly polluted. Then I said, I will pour out my fury upon them in the wilderness to consume them. So that's what the Lord ended up doing, because they profaned the Sabbath day, even after the wilderness going forward, as we read in the book of Nehemiah. That's why Nehemiah said, didn't our fathers also did this with profane acts? So now let's go to Matthew chapter 5 and verse 17. The book of Matthew chapter 5 and verse 17, and it reads, Think not that I'm come to destroy the law or the prophets. So Christ says, don't even think that he come to destroy the law or the prophets. All right. All the prophets, they taught out, they taught the Most High's commandments, gave the laws, and spoke about the Sabbath day. All right. Think not I come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. What did Christ fulfill? He fulfilled the things that was written about him, but he never said he came to destroy the law. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled. Not everything was fulfilled at this time. Only thing that Christ came and fulfilled was what? The fulfillment of animal sacrifice, all right, so that Israel is able to atone for their sins through him. Okay? Verse 19, whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men, so shall he be called least in the kingdom of heaven. So if you break one of these least commandments, the keeping the Sabbath day is considered a least commandment. It's not hard. It's not burdensome. You can make it hard and grievous if you don't have that fear of the Lord, if you don't want to serve the Lord. That's how you can make it hard and grievous and a burden. But by you teaching men, you're showing them by your actions, by what? Not keeping the Sabbath day. So Christ says you're going to be considered least in the kingdom. When that simply means is that you're not going to get the kingdom. Judgment is going to be set on that brother or that sister. Because why? Profaning the Sabbath day when that time comes. So now, verse 19 again, whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of the heaven. So, but whoever does the commandments, they're going to get the kingdom and be considered great in the kingdom of heaven. So now, let's go to Luke chapter 4 and verse 14. Luke chapter 4 and verse 14. And Jesus returned in the power of the Spirit into Galilee, and there went out a fame of him through all the region round about. And he taught in their synagogues. Synagogues mean school. Being glorified of all. And he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up. As his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day and stood up for to read. So Christ, you see Christ, and we read that Christ kept the Sabbath day. So now let's go to Acts chapter 17, and we're going to read verse 1. Acts chapter 17, and we're going to read verse 1, and it reads, now when they had passed through Amphipolis in Apollonia, they came to Thessalonica, where was a synagogue of the Jews. And Paul, as his manner was, went in unto them, and 3 Sabbath days reasoned with them out of the scriptures. So opening and alleging that Christ must needs have suffered and risen again from the dead, that this Jesus whom I preach unto you is Christ. So even Paul, he kept the Sabbath day, teaching the understanding in the gospel of Christ. So with that, brothers and sisters, I give all praise to the Most High through Christ for allowing me to teach this word in spirit of truth. I pray this was edifying. Make sure you share this class. And with that, I say shalom.